don't you invite them over to the house for a spooky night?
I'm sorry, scared. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't want a spooky night. Yes.
They thought it would be fun. With a plan in motion, nothing is hidden under the sun.
I beg who of like.
What's it, Doc?
I beg who of like.
False evidences appearing real. Would you like a spooky reading to tell you about your future?
In line with the theme of the week, Face Your Fears, the housemates were given a task to come up with a spooky drama on fear. Now, for this WAGER task presentation, they were grouped into two teams. For team 1, we have Rude Boy, Jason J, Big Soso, Doris, Cola, Bright Morgan, Culture, Denari, Tracy, Zita, and Joanna, and the title of their drama is A Night in CITRINE Room. The second team titled their drama Death Reading, and for this team we have Imisi, Ivata, Thelma Lawson, Isabella, Mide, Sultana, Dede, K Bobo, Mensan, and Coin. A Night in CITRINE Room started with Bright Morgan, who was bullied by his friends back in school days, convincing the auntie, Doris, that he's now in good terms with his friends, that whatever happened during those days were back in the days and now they are fine. But Doris goes ahead to ask him, why not invite your friends for a spooky night? Invite them over to the house. Why didn't they come during the weekend? And Bright Morgan then went ahead to invite his friends. But bear in mind that this was more like a revenge game to get back at the friends for all they did to him back in school days, because at the end Bright Morgan even got to tell them that, oh, you all called it a prank then, but I was traumatized. Okay, now let's dive into his friends. Zita, Joanna, Culture, and Kola played the role of Bright Morgan's university friends and friends, and on inviting them, Kola was skeptical about it. He said he does not like spooky party at all, that he wouldn't want to go, and his friends then started asking him, what is your fear? Bright Morgan went ahead to tell him, I'm scared of darkness, but I'll still be attending it, and they all went ahead to mention their individual fears. Joanna saying she doesn't like masquerade, anything masquerade shouldn't come near her, and Zita also mentioned that she's claustrophobic, and Culture as well. And after which they then turned to Kola, asking Kola, what are you scared of? And he said, well, he's scared of blood, scared of doll. After convincing Kola to come along with them, up next we see Doris reading out from what we'll call more like a magical book or something, but in this place she was also giving a narration about those friends on how they think this is going to be a fun party, but they don't know how that night will end up like. And she was very poetic with her write-up that even Big Brother acknowledged her for this one. Bright Morgan, on arriving at her aunt's house, was welcomed by her aunt. Meanwhile, her friends were so excited because there will be more to eat and drink. Just when the aunt, which is Doris, told them to feel at home, they shouldn't make a mess of the house, that the whole house is all theirs. Still excited, the next thing the light goes off, and right then fear penetrated, starting with Bright Morgan, who was scared of darkness, and he released his first scream. Then came masquerade, and Joanna's fear is masquerade, so they were now calling on Joanna that this is the opportunity for her to face her fears, that she should step forward towards the masquerade. This is everyone trying to face their fears. Okay, and next we have ghosts, which Tracy and Big Soso played that role excellently, and they then called on Kola to go face his own fears. Now I forgot to mention that Denari was the one behind the masquerade. Denari played that role very well, and I love the costume of that masquerade. Now then came Zita. Zita is claustrophobic, so due to they were all gathering around finding a way to escape, Zita wasn't functioning well. But then something happened and Joanna had to tell them to calm down, that can they notice that it's all in their head, see that regardless of their fears, they are still here, they're still breathing, and this is them facing their fears face to face and they are still here. It's all in the head. They should relax. But before Zita and Joanna started telling them to relax, that it's all in their head, that spiral to now she wouldn't have even withstand a masquerade. The friends, that's all of them, were blaming Bright Morgan for inviting them to this party, and right then Bright Morgan then opened up telling them, this is exactly what you guys did to me back in the school, and this is what it did to me, how it messed up with my head. I was traumatized. And they all said, no, we were playing a prank with you all those times. And Bright was like, you all call it a prank, but I was being traumatized as a child. Anyways, right then, after they all realized how they escaped and was able to withstand their fear, Doris comes in, telling the audience, or rather asking the audience, would you rather forget everything and run, or fix everything and rise? That fear is false evidence appearing real. And with that, team A, that is a night in CITRINE room, takes a bow, and that brings us to the end of their drama. Now let's dive to team B, death reading. Team B started their drama on a very high note, showing us where Queen was struggling for his life, where he's been buried by a ghost. And then here comes Dede introducing the name of their drama, which is death reading. And Thelma Lawson as well came forward to show us a placard that reads earlier on. That's earlier of what happened before we saw Cohen, before we get to where Cohen was struggling for his life. So it all started with Mayday and her group of friends coming out from a party, and then they came across a tarot card reader, and Mayday proceeded to convince her friend, let's go in, that it's her 25th birthday and she will want to try something different, have fun. And the card reader was played by Sultana. Well, Sultana proceeded to tell them that there is a rule to this. Anyways, but Mayday actually asked her, what does she have for them? And she said, well, would they mind a spooky card reader where she will tell them about their future? And she then told them there is a rule that once you start, no going back, no backing off. And they all agreed to it. After giving them a card, she then proceeded to read individually, starting with Faith, who she told, oh, you lost your mother earlier on while growing up and now you're scared of death. And Faith was like, no way, maybe one of you already informed her before we came here. And they were like, no, we didn't tell her anything. And she proceeded to talk about one of them who was bullied, pushed off the staircase, and now scared of heights. And to Coin, he told Coin that a few years ago you visited your village and you were being beaten by insects, and now you're scared of them. And Queen was like, there is no way she knows about this. Well, after that, Sultana told them that it's time to face their fears. And immediately, Imisi comes on stage. So Imisi played the role of a witch, and Mensan played the role of a ghost. Isabella as well played the role of a ghost. They all began to torment them in different ways according to their fears. And Ivata as well, who has fear for heights, decided to jump onto a stage and was finding it difficult to jump down. Anyways, Mayday had to tell Ivata to calm down, just listen to me. They were trying to navigate their fears. Well, they were able to conquer their fears, and the tarot card reader told them that it's time for their reward. Fast forward to the next day, and Dede finds a tarot card hiding somewhere around, telling Ivata, should we play this? And back to the stage, the witch is back laughing, saying, oh, maybe it's time for another set of people to face their fears. After that, the rest of the team members came on stage, and Faith gave us a pep talk on fear and why we should conquer it. Data as well came up telling us that regardless of everybody not facing their fears today, you should endeavor to, and if you need help in facing yours, try and get help to conquer your fears. And with that, today's presentation comes to an end. Big Brother called on the head boy, or head of house rule boy, and Coin to give a review of their performance, and they both rated the team, the housemates, for their excellent work, costume, team participation, delivering the characters perfect. And after that, Big Brother went ahead to acknowledge Big Soso and Tracy, telling that they played their role of being a ghost so well that Big even had to blink twice at some point, and also acknowledged Doris. Honestly, Doris deserves her flowers, guys. Doris showed up and showed off tonight. Biggie, to the second team, Big Brother was able to commend Imisi for playing the role of a witch so perfectly that Big Brother even asked her, in your former life, were you a witch? Big Brother, the off person sometimes. Big Brother also recognized Sultana for delivering that role. Big Brother said that Sultana embodied that role. Now, to their story, Biggie said that for Team 1, that Bright Morgan and Doris could have had a better conversation at the point of that drama, being that Doris is the aunt and Bright Morgan was the nephew, right? And then for Team 2, that they started on a very high note, but at the end, it may seem as though they lacked ideas, they run out of ideas, that it's ended in a very shallow way. And with that, Biggie said both teams gave an equal performance, but unlike last week where both teams gave equal performance and the whole house won their wager, that this week the house have lost their wager. I think this is another means of them facing their fears this week, to wrap it up, right? Because they're always scared of losing their wager. This is another fear they should face, so it's valid. Because tell me, if these people did not deliver, did you see what they acted? Did you see their costume? And to think they made most of these things by themselves. Come on, guys. Anyways, it did not end there. Big Brother went ahead to inform the ninjas to bring in a box into the arena, and it happens to be a snake, a live snake. Am I saying snake? Are they snakes? Well, the housemates were running here to scatter, Joanna running for her life. Bryce Morgan was just there. For every time something like this is happening, I always admire how Bryce Morgan will stand and just be looking. Well, he knows he's in Biggie's house and nothing will happen. After that, Big Brother then informed them to go into the house. And it didn't end there. The ninja still brought the snake inside of the house. But we'll talk about that in our next video. Feel free to tell me in the comment section what team did it for you tonight. What character did it for you tonight? For me, you see Sultana, you see Doris, you see Imisi. They all did well. The rest of the housemate did well, but you see these three people, they over delivered. Anyways, let me read your views.
And find a new perspective on fear. It helps us to grow, and it helps us to see better versions of ourselves.
Housemates. Both teams have lost the wager.
Let's go!